Having I started?
Eh,
Okay, good afternoon. This afternoon, we have met your maths doctor. I'm simply called Sir. And this afternoon, we're going to look at a few things from mathematics. Specifically, we are looking at the topic called solid shape. When we talk about solid shape, it simply means they are shapes that have three dimensions, such as length, breadth, and height. And we have some examples of solid shape. From the board, you can see that you have what we call prisms, we have pyramids, and spheres. This afternoon, we're going to deal with what we call prisms, a topic under prism. And when we talk about prism, it's simply any solid shape that has a uniform cross section. And some examples of prisms are we have a square prism. You can clearly see that this is a prism. And for you to know that something is a prism, if this were to be a cake or bread, and I'm to share this to about maybe 5 people, how will I cut it? The way I'll cut it so that there will be no cheat, or there will be equal divisions that are cut, and there will be no cheat is called what? The cross section area. So you can see here is this cross section area. I can decide to cut it this way so that there will be no cheat, or I can decide to cut it this way. So this is called a square prism. A square prism. A square prism is also called cube. It is known as cube or square prism because the dimensions are equal. You realize I have the height, the breadth, and then the length. They all have the same distance. Good. And let's talk about this one. We also have what we call rectangular prism. Rectangular prism means that when you look at the cross-sectional area, you realize that the shape that it takes is rectangle. Hence, its name rectangular prism. Another name for rectangular prism is called cuboid. Cuboid. So if this also were to be bread or cake and I'm to share it among people, for us to, or for me not to cheat anybody, I have to cut it in such a way that there will be no cheat. And the way I will cut it is the cross-sectional area. So here is the cross-sectional area. If I'm to cut it and there will be no cheat. When you look at this way too, I can decide to cut it this way. If I want to cut it this way too, there will be no cheat. So this is also a prism. Let's talk about this one too. This is called triangular prism. Triangular prism. It is triangular prism because if it were to be a cake or bread and I'm sharing it among people, the way I should cut it in such a way that there will be no cheat is what is termed as the cross-section area. Here, I'll cut it this way so that there will be no cheat. If I decide to cut it this way, you realize that there will be cheat. Some will get a bigger portion, whilst others will get a smaller portion. So this qualifies to be called a prism. Let's talk about this one. If this were to be a cake or bread and I'm to share it among people, is there a way that I can share it so that everybody will get equal share? The answer is no, because there will be no possible ways in which I can share this for each person to get an equal share. If I decide to cut it this way, you can clearly see that some will get a bigger portion, whilst others will get a lesser portion. So this does not qualify to be called a prism. And this is a cone, so it does not qualify to be called a prism. So at this point, we're going to look at a few things.